Alright, I have decided to make a Lions Live Wire Lions 53-man roster prediction 3.0 after the Falcons game. I have decided to do that just because there has been a lot of changes in my opinion since the last video due to injuries, which has been the case with the Lions now. Injuries for the past 2 years. The only reason why I was thinking not about doing it was to honor Maurice Norris, and also just because we didn't end up playing a full game. We ended up playing 3 quarters, but I thought there was enough changes, and with all the injuries that have happened within the past week, I should probably go ahead and make this. So I went ahead and do it, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a little bit of a longer video than last time, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. Hold on a minute. I thought I had this pulled up right. Apparently, I do not. I don't know what's going on right now with PowerPoint. I have this is a slideshow on my screen, but then on your screen it's not a slideshow. I have no clue what's going on. Let me see if I'm on the wrong tab. Let me see if that works. No, that don't work. No, it's just, that's still the wrong one. Man, come on. Oh, Jesus, man. Wow. There we go. Only took me about 50 years. Here we go. Lions 53-man roster prediction 3.0 with practice squad post preseason week 2 edition 2025. Credit to these websites for the images. Starting off with quarterback. I got 2 making it. Jared Goff and Kyle Allen. Hendon Hooker does not make the cut. This is obviously a big change from the last 2 times around. I had Hendon Hooker making the 53-man over Kyle Allen the last 2 times. I no longer have that being the case. Dan Campbell loved Kyle Allen's performance this past week. I did as well. He played very well. Hendon Hooker could not hold on to the football. Did not have a great game against the Falcons. I think Hendon Hooker's time as a Detroit Lion could potentially be coming to an end. Maybe it's keep 3 if you really like Hendon Hooker to be an emergency third-string quarterback, or just because you don't want to risk him being placed in the practice squad and then him getting picked up, or you don't feel like you get any trade value for him, but you do value him a little bit. So maybe you do that, but I had to keep 2 in this situation, so I went with Kyle Allen just off of last week's performance. Now, this very well could change. Very well could change depending on next week, but right now I got Kyle Allen as the quarterback too, especially after what Dan Campbell said. Moving on to running back, I still got 4 making it. Jahmyr Gibbs, Dave Montgomery, Craig Rollins, and Sione Vaki. Even though Vaki's not played the past 2 weeks, the Lions traded up in the 4th round 2 years ago to get him. I believe they traded two future 4th round picks or something like that to get him. It was a lot of value. So the Lions, Sione Vaki will definitely make the 53-man. With Jacob Sailors and newly signed Deion Jackson not making the cut. Kyle Robichaux was waived. He was waived, I believe, from I don't know. He ended up reverting to the line. He was waived, I believe. Just they flat out waived him, and then with an injury designation, and then he reverted to the Detroit Lions IR. And at this current moment, he is still on the Lions IR, so he is out for the season. But he is still technically on the Lions roster, and he will be under contract next season if the Lions don't end up releasing him at some point with an injury settlement. But nothing changes here at all. It's pretty expected. Moving on to wide receiver, I got St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Tim Patrick, Teslock, and Khalif Raymond and Dominic Levette making it, keeping 6. With Jackson Meeks, Tom Kennedy, Ronnie Bell, Jacoby Keeney-James, and Malik Taylor not making it. Now, I also updated this to where the players that are not making the roster, or the names going in order, is kind of how I expect the depth chart to be. So, like St. Brown, wide receiver 1, Williams, wide receiver 2, Patrick's 3, Teslock 4, and then Jackson Meeks would be like the closest to being wide receiver 6, and then Malik Taylor would be the last closest to being wide receiver 6. That's how I have this updated. So, like, I think Malik Taylor is the most unlikely out of all these wide receivers to be wide receiver 6. And then I think Tim Patrick wins the wide receiver 3 sub. So that's how I have this updated. So I have 6 wide receivers making it. Nothing changes here. Roster count is now up to 12. Moving on to tight end. I have 2 making it still. Nothing changes here. This has been the same way for 3 state 53-mans now. Sam Laporta and Brock Wright make it, with Shane Zoster, Zach Horton, tight end / fullback, and newly signed Steven Stellanos and Gunnar Oaks from the UFL not making the cut. Kenny Yeboah got placed on season-ending injured reserve a couple of days ago, so his season is officially over unless the Lions release him with an injury settlement. But at the current moment, when I'm making this video, they have not done that. So Kenny Yeboah is out for the season, so he is now that tight end 3 running. These guys, I would be shocked, Stellanos and Gunnar Oaks, if they even have a shot It's going to come down to Zilcher and Horton who win that tight end 3 battle, but I think they very well could only keep 2, and then both of these guys throughout the year, kind of like they did last year, will compete for that tight end 3 spot on the practice squad, and then they'll be elevated to 53. Roster count now up to 14. Now we got a big change here. I'm only keeping 9 offensive linemen this time around instead of 10 like I've done these past 2 times. I got Decker, Mahogany, Glasgow, Ratledge, and Sewell as the starters. With Miles Frazier, I don't think the Lions will place him on the injured reserve or when the season starts or pup list or anything like that. I believe Dan Campbell said he's going to return mid-September to early October, and that's not 4 weeks, so I don't expect the Lions to place him on any type of injured designation. So I do believe he makes the 53-man roster, even though he probably won't start the season week 1. Dan Skipper I have making it. Kale Wosika this time I have making it for the first time on the 53-man of any of these videos. And I still got Giovanni Manu making it. Kingsley Ekukun this time around. I had to make the 53-man last 53-man roster prediction. But this time around, last preseason game was the third-string center. Cologne was number 2. And I just feel like after that, I don't think the Lions keep him on the 53-man. I think he's a practice squad guy. He's going to have to earn his way back up on the 53-man. Natane Mutai, for the first time of any 53-man roster prediction I've done this year, does not make the 53-man. Awosika has won that job. Natane Mutai struggled a lot versus the Atlanta Falcons. Kale Awosika, you know what you're going to get from him. Veteran guard, can step in and start if needed. Not ideal, but he can do it if needed. Natane Moody, not been here nearly as long, has dealt with injuries. So I went with Kale Wilson here for more experience and just the fact that he's played better overall throughout Natane Moody this preseason. Tristan Colon, I didn't know what to do here. He got hurt during the Atlanta Falcons game. The Lions did not place him on injured reserve, but Dan Campbell said he's going to be down a while, down quite a bit with an, I believe he said, elbow injury. So I just put him on injured here. They might put him on injured reserve once the season starts, and maybe that's what they do. That's probably what they'll do, which means he misses the first 4 weeks. Maybe they value him quite a bit to where they don't want to release him or put him on season-ending IR right now. I don't know. I just had him not making it as putting him on injured reserve when the season starts, most likely. That's what I did there. Michael Neese continues not to make it. Jamarco Jones, Mason Miller, and newly signed UFL guards Keaton Sutherland and Gunnar Britton not making as well. And season-ending IR, Colby Sorsdahl and Justin Huron are out for the season, so they do not have a shot to make it either. I had Colby Sorsdahl making the practice squad last time around, but obviously that will no longer be the case. Roster count now up to 23. Moving on to interior defensive line. Got 5 making it. Still the same here. DJ Reader, Tyreek Williams, Roy Lopez, Mekhi Wingo. Same thing here with Mekhi Wingo. He was working off with trainers today at the recording of this video on practice. He could return before week 1. I don't expect him to. I expect him to probably return around week 2, week 3. But I don't think the Lions will place him on injured reserve to start the season where he has to miss the first 4 weeks because that's just not needed. So I do think he makes the initial 53 even if he doesn't play week 1. Pat O'Connor continues to make it as well with Keith Cooper, Chris Smith. Well, there you go. You got an early peek there with Keith Cooper, Chris Smith, Miles Adams, and former third-round pick Broderick Martin not making the cut with Aleem McNeil on the PUP list and Levi Onwuzurike on the PUP reserve being out for the whole 2025 NFL season. Roster count now up to 28. Now, I've already seen this, so I'll already skip to it. I am keeping 6 edges, so this is a change this time around. I have Hutchison, Davenport, Pascal, Muhammad, and Hosni making it. That stays the same, but I now have Nate Lynn making the Lions 53-man roster prediction. There was 3 players this offseason that I was really, really rooting for to make the Lions 53-man roster prediction, who I thought could make an impact as a depth piece and have a future down the line with us, but also who I really like as players. Those 3 players were Maurice Norris, Nate Lynn, and I believe was Jacoby Keeney-James. Now, Maurice Norris probably going to make the practice squad at least. Nate Lynn for sure will make the team after how he's been playing. Jacoby Keeney-James right now probably won't make the team. Has not had a reception this far throughout the preseason, only 1 target, and he did have that muff punt as well. I'd be shocked if he made the team, but who knows, he could turn it around. But Nate Lynn, one of those guys right now, does come true, and he makes the 53-man roster for the first time. Actually, I might have had him making it last time around after the injury to Rake Straw. I can't remember. But Nate Lynn, let alone makes 53-man here after a phenomenal 3 games in the preseason he's had in his NFL career now, because he didn't play a regular season game last year, got hurt in week 1 of the preseason last year, missed rest of the season and rest of the preseason last year, but played very well in that 1 game, had a sack, And then so far throughout 2 preseason games this year, he's absolutely balled out, leading us in PFF grades each week on the defensive side of the ball and our whole entire team this past week, and also getting a sack. So he definitely deserves to make it. I really like Nate One. Essentially Marcus Davenport. That's what he is, but I don't want to say he can stay healthy because he missed all the last season with the season-ending injury, but he plays exactly like Marcus Davenport. Bigger body, pushes the pocket, has a little bit of finesse moves to him, but he's primarily a power rusher and a good one at that, is what Nate reminds me of. Mitchell Goudet and Isaac Uku do not make the count. Roster count is now up to 34. Moving on to linebacker. I have 6 making it. Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Grant Stewart, Zach Cunningham, Trevor Nowaski. Nothing changes here. With Anthony Pittman, Ezekiel Turner, and Deron Gilbert not making the count. Roster count is now up to 40. And obviously Malcolm Rodriguez is on the PUP list. Will probably miss the first 4 games of the NFL season at minimum. So nothing changes there. Maybe Pittman pushes out Nowaski. Pittman's had a very good preseason. Nowaski had struggled week 1 of the preseason, but then bounced back against the Falcons last week. So I think the Lions are going to keep Nowaski over Pittman just because of Nowaski's special team ability, but also I feel like he can be better stepping in on defense rather than Anthony Pittman. So I just went with the fact who I think the Lions like more, which is Trevor Nowaski, and I do prefer Trevor Nowaski as well over Anthony Pittman, but I could see that going either way. But I think Trevor Nowaski right now makes it over Anthony Pittman. Turner, I thought, had a case to make the team as a linebacker 6, but he has not had a great preseason. Really hasn't stood out much. The only way he makes it right now is as a special teamer. And Deron Gilbert, really, I've not seen throughout preseason at all. Moving on to cornerback, I only have 5 this time around making it. I'd prefer to keep 6, but none of these guys that I had being cut, I think, are capable of being cornerback 6 right now. I have DJ Reed, Taron Arnold, Meek Robertson, Rocky Sen, and Khalil Dorsey making the cut. I'm assuming Khalil Dorsey will be back before week 1. With Tyson Russell, DiCaprio Boodle, Nick Whiteside, Luke Nuisine, Luke Barco, and DJ Miller from the UFL not making the cut. With Ennis Registraw being on season-ending injured reserve. He is missing the whole entire 2025 season with a shoulder injury that he had surgery on. Roster count is now up to 45. The guy that I would have being cornerback 6 if I had to keep 6 guys would be Tyson Russell. I haven't minded what I've seen so far. I thought he's played okay throughout the first 2 preseason games. Has some potential UDFA cornerback from Vanderbilt, but at the same time, really haven't loved anything. Really didn't see Luke Barco or DJ Miller last game. Really neither Nick Whiteside as well. And DiCaprio Boodle is not a good cornerback. So I just decided to keep 5 here. Maybe we bring in a free agent cornerback off of cut downs or still left in free agency. I don't know, but I only kept 5 here. I like to keep 6, but just didn't work out. Moving on to safety, I have 5 this time around making it. I only had 4 in the previous ones. I had Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Avante Maddox, Maurice Norris, and Eric Howlett making the 53-man as a safety, with Lauren Strickland and Ian Kennelly not making the cut, with Dan Jackson being placed on season-ending injured reserve. He is out for the whole 2025 season. Unfortunately, 7th-round rookie from Georgia, out for the whole entire year. I decided to keep Maurice Norris this time around as safety 4, even with the injury, but I really like the guy as a player as well. I think he makes it right now, and I know how much the Lions like him, his special teams ability, and he's flexible well. He can play cornerback. And that's the reason why I kept Eric Howlett. Since I'm only keeping 5 cornerbacks, the fact that Maurice Norris can play safety and cornerback, he would have made it regardless, but he can play safety and cornerback, but that's the fact why I went with Eric Howlett as a safety 5 over guys like Lauren Strickland or Ian Kennelly, because Eric Howlett can play cornerback. He was actually drafted as a cornerback 2 years ago now, by the Jacksonville Jaguars as a 6th-round pick. So that is the reason why I decided to go ahead and keep Eric Howlett on the roster as my 53rd guy this year. That because he can play cornerback, and so he is technically my safety 5/cornerback 6. So that's why I went ahead and kept him. And then obviously moving on to the last 3, it's obvious. Jake Bates, Jack Fox, and Hogan Hatton make it. Nothing changed there, and that is my 53-man roster prediction. Now moving on to the practice squad. Hold on a minute here. Hold on a minute. check something there. I thought my door opened for a second, and I thought somebody was there. Apparently not, unless my brother's playing games with me. But moving on to my 16-man practice squad. That is something I like to add that I don't really see any Lions content creators do, or really NFL content creators. My 16-man practice squad, I have a new quarterback making it, which is the same thing that I had the last time. I don't know who this would be, a quarterback from cut downs or a quarterback left in free agency. The quarterback market is horrible right now. The only quarterback two left in free agency that can be a quarterback two is Carson Wentz. Teddy Bridgewater ended up coming back out of retirement to sign with the Buccaneers, and then Tyler Huntley signed with the Cleveland Browns. So Carson Wentz is the only capable quarterback two left in free agency. After that, your best available quarterbacks are guys like Ryan Tannehill, who haven't played in 2 years, Colin Kaepernick, who haven't played in 8 years, and guys like Jeff Driscoll, C.J. Beathard, and stuff like that. So probably a cut-down quarterback is who this would be. Nate Suckfeld, maybe he comes back. I don't know. But a new quarterback of some sort I'd have been is the practice squad. Jacob Saylors makes the practice squad this time around. Really liked what I saw from him in the Falcons game. Jackson Meeks makes it once again. Tom Kennedy makes it as well. Ronnie Bell makes it this time over Jacoby Keeney-James as my practice squad wide receiver 3. I had him making it. He's shown more than Jacoby Keeney-James in the preseason. Actually, he's made plays during the preseason, unlike Jacoby Keeney-James, my guy. So I went with the fact that Ronnie Bell has performed better over Jacoby Keeney-James this preseason. So that is a change. Shane Zylstra and Zach Horton once again. Actually, Zach Horton I don't think made it last time on the practice squad. This time around he does. I think he did the first time around on the first 53-man. He made it on the practice squad. Didn't last time, but he's back on the practice squad. This time around, Jamarco Jones makes it. Natane Mutai makes it on the practice squad. Made the 53-man last time. Now he got downgraded to the practice squad. Kingsley also made the 53-man last time around. Now he is downgraded to the practice squad. So I got 10 on offense making the practice squad. On to defense, I got Keith Cooper making the practice squad. Chris Smith making the practice squad. Anthony Pittman making the practice squad. I wanted to really keep him on the practice squad the last time. Really bad. He's my 17th guy, but I couldn't keep him. This time around I can after the recent injuries. He makes it. Ezekiel Turner makes it because of special teams. Lauren Strickland for the first time out of 3 53-man roster predictions this year makes it somehow. Still has not made the 53, but he, for the first time this year, out of my 53-man roster predictions with practice squad, he does make the practice squad this time around. And Ian Kennelly for back-to-back times here makes the practice squad again as my 16th guy on the practice squad. Originally, Tristan Colon made the practice squad here as a 4th offensive lineman, but after Dan Campbell at the recording of this video came out today and said Tristan Colon is going to be down a while, in my opinion, the Lions are either going to release him here soon, or they're going to put him in a season-ending injured reserve, or they're going to wait till the start of the season to place him on IR. That way he's not out for the year and only has to miss the first 4 games of the season. If they really value him that much, that's what they'll probably do. But I decided that's probably what they're going to do, so he's not going to count towards the 53-man anyway or the practice squad. So I might as well just flat-out release him / put him on IR. So that's what I went ahead and did there. So I had Kennelly this time making it. Being updated here, I had Kennelly making it over Colon. So Colon, in my opinion, and on this is still technically on the team, but at the same time is not. So it was a tricky situation there, but I kind of went with what I expect the Lions to do, which is they keep him on the 90-man roster, and once cut downs happen, they will have him making the 53-man, and then shortly after they'll put him on injured reserve to open up a roster spot, and that way he doesn't miss the whole entire season. With the rule, if you play something before the season on injured reserve, they're out for the season. That way, technically, after cut downs, the season has officially begun. So then, if they put him on the practice squad, he's only out for 4 weeks. So that's what I went ahead and did there, which I think is most likely option. So then I kept Ian Kennelly. And now so I kept 6 defensive players. That is your 16-man practice squad. Refresh it one more time here. And now moving on to the players who did not make the 53-man or practice squad. Was Hendon Hooker, former Lions 3rd-round pick back in 2023. Now, I don't know what to do there. Like, I would have put him on the practice squad as my practice squad quarterback, but I think he would get poached. So, like, there's no reason to do that. So, do we keep him as a 3rd-string quarterback on the 53-man? What do I do there? I decided to go ahead and say I cut him / trade him for a 7th-round pick. I don't think you could probably get any more than a 7th-round pick for him. So that's better than nothing, and he would get poached. So you probably want to get something for him. So I just went ahead and decided to trade him essentially here, or slash cut him. So it was a difficult decision there for me to do. Deion Jackson, newcomer, does not make it. Jacoby King James, my guy, unfortunately does not make it. Malik Taylor, Steven Stellanos, Gunnar Oaks, UDFA tackle Mason Miller, Michael Neese, guards from the UFL Keaton Sutherland, Gunnar Britton, do not make it. Tristan Colon makes it as an injured reserve offensive lineman, so I put him on this list just in case if he gets cut with an injury settlement after this comes out. Miles Adams does not make it. Broderick Martin did have a great game against the Atlanta Falcons. I'll give respect where it's due, but he has to be more consistent. If he can be consistent these next 2 games, then he might work his way onto the practice squad, but I have to see the consistency. Former Lions third-round pick does not make it. 2 former Lions third-round picks do not make the 53-man or practice squad this time around. Mitchell Gude does not make it. Neither does Isaac Ukwu, Deron Gilbert, DiCaprio Budo, Tassan Russell, Nick Whiteside, Luke Barco, or DJ Miller. So those are your players who did not make the Lions 53-man roster or practice squad. And a little slide here I ended at the end. We'll just go ahead and go over it real quick. These players that are on season-ending injured reserve / pup list. On offense side of the ball, Kyle Roby-Chalkson out for the year on season-ending injured reserve. Kenny Yeboah out for the year on season-ending injured reserve. Sorsdal, Haran out for the year on season-ending injured reserve. Tristan Colon, I believe, will be placed. He has not officially been placed on injured reserve, but I believe the Lions will wait until the season starts to place him on injured reserve. That way he only misses the first 4 games. Difficult decision here. So if you have captions on, he's not on injured reserve right there. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I believe he will be placed on injured reserve once the season starts. So then this is relevant. On the defensive side of the ball, Lee McNeil will start the year on the pup list. Levi Onwuzurike is out for the year on the pup reserve. So essentially injured reserve, he's out for the season. Malcolm Rodriguez will start the year on the pup list. Rake Straw is out for the year on season-ending injured reserve. And Dan Jackson is out for the year on season-ending injured reserve as well. And that is my Lions, my 2025 Lions Live Wire, Lions 53-man roster prediction 3.0 with practice squad. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? I want to hear it. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What would you do with Tristan Colon? That's really what I want to know here. What would you do with Tristan Colon in this type of situation that I was put in? I really want to know what you would do. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. One Prego Lions. Took a very long time to make. And man, was it stressful. One Prego Lions.